Not all of them make you better. Some of them will probably just kill you. I mean,
If you read the back of the Tylenol bottle,
yeah.
it tells you that it can also kill you.
Oh, Tylenol juice?
Any medicine.
Eh.
Medicine, according to the law, they have to put down anything that possibly could happen. So if you read a Tylenol bottle or ibuprofen or anything, the details,
Yeah.
it'll tell you that it can be harmful for you, it can destroy your liver, it can damage your brain, it could, if not taken as directed. And so if you really listen to all of that, you'll never take anything but water. And only city water if it's Boston, because Boston has very good city water.
Yeah, Tylenol scared me the most. One of the guys told me when you overdose on it, it will be very painful to die because there's no reverse
So
of
you were
it.
planning on overdosing on it?
No, like after hearing that, causes it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to take Tylenol now.
Anything has, if you read the back of the medicines, it'll tell you all the things that could happen to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So, if you're planning anything like that, you need to go back to the doctor. Okay?
I know. Read the label as far as make you
But
feel better.
again, don't freak out over what you need to balance what it's really for and how bad is it.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes we may have some mild depression that can be handled with therapy, or having someone to talk to, or doing relaxation techniques, anything like this. And sometimes it's not, and you can't function. So now then you have to balance out how bad things are.
Yeah, I deal with the last third and the fourth. The last upper schizophrenia depression. I had one live in the house. Yeah, so I'm watching them like
It's very hard life. But if they have schizophrenia, they really do need medicine.
Yes. Oh yeah, he is on medication. Yeah. I'm like monitoring him
because of the
yeah.
voice
You have to monitor him really bad, really well because of that. Traumatic brain injuries. A traumatic brain injury can also you could end up with any of these. Any brain trauma, you can end up with epilepsy. You can end up with attacks, convulsions. A lot of trauma to the head can end up in these kind of epileptic seizures. Not because you have the disease or the problem epilepsy, but because there's a brain damage. There's also, you can end up with severe depression because that part of the limbic system got damaged. And you could develop the hormonal balance is gone, so you need medicine to balance out those hormones. And so a lot of these things, like you could have symptoms like schizophrenia. You may not have the actual disease itself, but you'll have the symptoms like a schizophrenic because the limbic system got damaged. So brain disorders, traumatic brain disorders, you can end up with any of these kind of symptoms similar to these diseases.
Now they say that with the schizophrenia usually caused by sometimes when kids got brain damage, like hurt themselves, like had injuries when they were younger, and they get older.
It depends on what epilepsy is very common for that.
Oh.
For head injuries. You can look at a lot of this information in this website, medlineplus.gov. It's a government site, so it's a site that gives you correct information. You can always look into that and check it out. Now, we do have, as we age, as we get older, parts of our brain starts having these little calcium deposits in our brain due to cholesterol, due to many things. So usually we start having memory issues usually in our 60s. And our memory may not be as quick as it was when you were 50 and 40. Definitely not by 20s. Some people are sharp as a tack. I have a 95-year-old in the hospital right now with high blood pressure. She cooks, she cleans, she takes care of her house. Nothing. The only thing she has is high blood pressure. And this lady had no issues. She jokes around. She's like, I wish that I had some 70-year-olds that were like that. So it all depends on how you take care of yourself and what diseases you have. And your personality. Personality is really important. Yeah. Okay? Because a very depressive person will age very quickly.
Yeah.
So you need to take care of yourself. Memory loss can be caused not only by age, because our body changes, everything slows down. It also could be vitamin B12 deficiency. Sometimes we get an elder person admitted into the hospital, and because they got confused and the family thinks they're having a stroke, or they had a stroke or something of that sort. They're not acting right, they're not talking right, and we do a blood test and we find out that vitamin B deficiency is very low, and that affects how your brain acts out. Alcoholism, with time, damages the brain and gives you dementia. Brain tumors or infections, you could end up with like meningitis, you can end up with a brain tumor that damages the brain, and whatever that part of the brain got damaged, that's the kind of problem they're going to have. So when we have surgery on patients that have like a brain tumor, and and we remove the tumor, sometimes we lose also a part of the brain. Even if it's a small part, whatever that part of the brain is controlling, that's going to be not working right ever again, because that part is missing. And usually they try not to do surgeries like that where they take pieces of the brain unless they super have to, because of the damage that could come up, depending on what part. Like if it's let's say there's a tumor where the breathing is. They know that if they're going to go in there and do surgery and remove that tumor, it's going to remove part of that brain, and that person will die. They can try radiating it, try to shrink it down, try to dry out before we actually get to do anything like that. Or sometimes we cannot even touch it. If they're very deep into the limbic system, like real deep into the brain, we know we can't get them. Because if we get them, we have to cut the brain in order to get in, and we're going to damage so much of the brain, the person will die. Or they will end up like vegetables. They will not be able to be on respirators for the rest of their lives. Thyroid disease and kidney function and liver functions make you very forgetful. So if you have thyroid disease, a lot of times we call them, it's like a thyroid fog. If you have thyroid problems, you get into these fogs where you're very forgetful, very, you forget where things are very quickly, and people get really frightened, especially if they're older, they get very frightened because of that. And it has to do with thyroid disease, and it doesn't matter how old you are, you get them. Kidneys, if your kidneys are shut down and not working properly, when the stuff in your kidneys, you're supposed to get rid of all your toxins through your kidneys. When that stuff doesn't come out, one of the things that happens is that all the toxins stay in your body and you get very confused. And you act like you are totally mental. You act like you have mental illness because the toxins are in your system. So they have to clean you out in order to do that. Or the liver, the same thing with the liver. With like if you have hepatitis C and the liver is very inflamed. Yes?
Can you repeat the alcoholism part? I missed that part. I memory loss.
Alcoholism. If you have alcoholism, you can also develop dementia. You're at very high risk of dementia. Emotional stress, anxiety, and depression can give you memory loss. When someone's depressed or very anxious, they forget. The more they forget, the more anxious they get. It's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. So anxiety and depression, in emotional stress, need to be down in order for you not to forget things. It's very common. Sometimes I get people and say, no, I think I have Alzheimer's. All of us, as soon as we hit 60 or around that age, and we start freaking out and we forget things, and we got Alzheimer's. I diagnosed myself like 5 years ago, okay? And it's like, I keep forgetting everything because I do so many things. And I do so many things, so of course, and I'm highly structured, but I forget things sometimes. And I was like, am I getting dementia? Am I getting, you see so much that you're like, you already diagnosed yourself. So stress itself and anxiety and depression can definitely make you have memory loss. Some medicines can also cause memory loss, like sleeping pills. Some sleeping pills, and you guys have heard of like Ambience, and people driving in the middle of the next day or the next morning, and kill somebody, don't remember that. Or they were driving to another state and don't remember doing that either. And if they're related to the part of the brain that, sleeping pills, you know, when they put us to sleep, something happens to the memory and you end up. Anti-anxiety medication can also cause you to forget things. Pain medication, like oxycodone, morphine, things like that, totally loony. You're totally Looney Tunes for that. Okay, any questions on that? Any questions on the brain? Good? Good?
We're moving on.
That's why I went.
So are there, like ALS and MS,
Yes.
are they related to the brain, or are they?
On the nervous system, yes, they are related to the nervous system, yes. The question is ALS, I had the orthopedic stuff, so ALS and MS are related to the brain. But there are diseases that affect the entire body, not only the brain, but the entire body by poor muscle control. Guys, I'm gonna throw something at you.
Oh, sorry. I prefer dollars.
Dollars?
Yes.
Okay, good. You collect those? So yeah, it's, so you need to, with ALS and all those diseases, the brain, the nervous system starts dying. Starts dying down. And there is something in the way the nerves talk to each other that disconnect. So eventually, as they start disconnecting, you end up not being able to walk, not being able to talk, and not being able to feed yourself, let's say, because you don't have the strength anymore. Eventually, you will not be able to swallow or breathe, which is a terrible disease because your actual brain is healthy. It's the nervous system that doesn't work properly. So a lot of these people with ALS and everything, their brain is clear. They know what's happening. That's what makes it so sad. They know what's
It's like
happening.
Parkinson, you stop being able
Yes.
to move, but your brain is,
Yeah,
you're just trapped in your body.
you're trapped in your body. Very good way of saying it. You're trapped in your body. These diseases damage, they're related to the nervous system, but not the brain itself. The brain is perfectly fine, but the connections that send the electrical messages and how they talk to each other, they're not working properly. So all these things start dying down slowly. Like my girlfriend, my best friend has MS. And this is a woman who loved partying, loved going out, and she is a little bit younger than me. And right now, the whole left side is gone. Like she's walking around like this because this whole side of the nerves, all of them are dying down. And now she can't write. She's having a hard time grabbing the pen. She can't write, but her mind is sharp as anything. And she's having a hard time feeding herself because she's like a little kid, you know, that is not able to really get out there. But that's what makes it so severe because she knows what she's doing. So, and that's what makes it, in ALS, it's the same thing. They know what they're doing, but they can't connect. They did, a couple, who was it that, there was, this gentleman, I forgot his name, what's his name, the scientist?
Stephen Hawkins?
Yeah.
Stephen Hawkins?
Hawkins. Stephen Hawkins, if it wasn't for his computer, I mean, he came through with that computer system. He wrote books, he did theories, he did everything for years. His brain was perfect. He's a genius. But his body was no good. That all the nerves started dying down to eventually killed him. He couldn't breathe on his own anymore.
I wonder what happened to that guy that was scheduled for like heart transplant. They were talking about it. Is it scheduled this year?
They have been talking about it.
But it's supposed to be this year, so should be done already. It never came out.
No, I don't think
Maybe
it
they
worked.
die.
So-
There's a lot going on. It's the same thing when we started with face transplants.
Yeah.
We started working at the Brigham with face transplants almost 10 years before we actually did one.
Oh, okay. But I mean, face
Because it
transplants.
takes, in a brain is even much more than the face